Welcome to Was I in a Cult? Part 81. I literally just realized that it's been almost 11 months since I started sharing my story of how I ended up leaving what I now consider to possibly be at least a cult-like organization. Um, I will go as far as to say that I do believe now that it's a cult, but I know that a lot of people might not have that same opinion, but it's my opinion and I'm allowed to have it. The fact that it's almost been an entire year that I started sharing this story, and I pretty much share close to 2 to 3 times, sometimes 5 times a week, 10 minutes at a time, and I'm not even near the end of the story yet, is crazy to me. And if you're wondering why this video keeps stopping and starting, it's because my dog likes to growl at me while I'm doing videos. And also I'm having a really weird hair day, so I keep fixing it. Okay, so let me get back to the story. So I left off where Monica had spent the night and she kissed me and things happened, and then I was in the bathroom on the floor in the morning begging God to forgive me. When I went back and I looked at my last video, I realized that I left some things out or forgot some things and then started to remember things, because sometimes I don't remember everything because this was so long ago. I'm talking like I've been out of this church for 18 years. So, and we're talking I was in that church for 15 years. So there's a lot to remember and I don't always remember it in order. So one thing I did want to say is that Monica and I did not plan to be together. We did not plan the evening. We didn't even plan for her to spend the night. What actually ended up happening, now that I looked back and really thought about that and remembered it, what happened was that a lot of times her brother didn't want her to come home. So she was staying in an apartment complex with her brother, and it was her brother's place, and he was literally just like letting her stay there. She wasn't even really paying rent. I think she was sleeping on the living room couch. She didn't even have her own room or anything. He had a 1-bedroom apartment, and a lot of times he would have his friends over and or girlfriends, and he didn't want her to come home. So that night he told her he didn't want her to come home at all and asked her if she could just stay somewhere else. And it was like, so she tells me after service, like, she was mad because her brother told her that she couldn't come home, basically. And it was like, because, he was going to have a girl over or whatever. And it's just a 1-bedroom, so he didn't really want his sister there. So I was just like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't just, like, let her, like, not have a place to stay. So obviously, I was obviously going to let her come and stay at my house. Like, that's how, anybody would do that. Like, I wouldn't just be like, no, I'm just gonna let you stay out on the street. Like, what, I'm gonna drop you off in front of your brother's apartment and you can sit there outside of it for all night? Like, that's not gonna happen. So I kind of feel like I didn't really have an option. She didn't really have an option or a choice. It was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night when he sent her this text while she was at church. And, then she's supposed to make some kind of arrangements. Like, nobody's even up at that time. I might also have to stop sometimes because every once in a while I feel like I need to take a breath, because this is the first story that seems to have really been giving me a lot of anxiety while sharing. I'm a little under the weather right now anyways, kind of had a cold, but like I feel like as far as I've gotten, like, in my story, I haven't really experienced like physical symptoms, but like I sometimes, when I'm starting to share about this story, like I feel like anxiety. I don't know if that makes sense. So it's a little bit like I run out of breath or feel like I'm at a loss for words or something. And it's just, maybe it's a trigger of some trauma that happened for me. But like, going into this story is not easy, so bear with me. Sorry, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I did just have to stop and take a couple of breaths and compose myself again. Part of it is because of anger, part of it is because of the feelings that come up when I share this story and the emotions that arise. it's not an easy thing to talk about. Okay, so like I said, I already got to the point where we ended up being together, right? Okay, so I remember it was time to take her home, and we had the conversation in the car about how we should probably not do this again. We should probably try to like not separate, but like not so yeah, we didn't really want to like stop hanging out together or anything, but we just wanted to like try to make sure that when we were going out, that we try to keep ourselves like where we were always around other people, or like not put ourselves in a place where we might be tempted for things to happen again. And you know, because we both knew we wanted to serve God with all of our heart, and that we wanted to be a part of this church and this ministry, so we just did whatever we could to like try to like I would pick her up and stuff like that, but it was like we would try to like make these little boundaries, you know, like we weren't gonna like, you know, get too close or like hug too long or like cuddle or do any of those things that might lead to other things, you know what I mean? Like, and so that was like our thoughts. And like, but I felt like inside of me, like I was just like, all this guilt and shame was just like building up inside of me. And I felt like, you know, am I supposed to like, do we do this on our own, or like should I be like confessing this to someone, like, you know? And it was like it just ate at me, like the guilt of like hiding that or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and I was also afraid of telling someone, because I was afraid that they wouldn't let us talk to each other anymore. That was like the main thing I was afraid of, is that like I had developed this friendship with this person that I didn't want to lose. Like I didn't want to lose her friendship. I didn't want to lose hanging out with her. And so I didn't really want to, you know, like expose it to leadership, because I was afraid they would tell me that we can't hang out together anymore. And I would have to be accountable to my leadership, and I would have to listen to them. And so, I don't know, some time went on, and it just like ate at me and ate at me. And of course, like the next week came, and I'm pretty sure I picked her up and took her to church and stuff like that, because we continued to do that. And, you know, we just decided, like, you know, we're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to, like, kiss or whatever, you know what I mean? We're just going to just stay away from each other like that. I haven't had this kind of anxiety in a while. Like, I started feeling myself shake. And anyways, I'm not gonna get all the way into the story because I only have like 2 minutes left at this point. But like I said, I finally got to the point of where I felt like I had to confess. And I didn't really have like a direct leader over me at that time. Like, so what I decided to do was go to the leader over the prayer ministry. And I actually went to him because I thought like he could keep it confidential, and you know, he would pray with me about it and pray for me. Like, I thought that would be the extent of it. I thought he would keep it anonymous and not take it anywhere else. But so I pulled him aside because I felt out of all the people, like he would be the one that I felt like I could trust the most. There was a whole pastoral staff, and he was just on the staff as one of the pastors. And I just asked him for prayer, and I confessed it to him, and we prayed. And he made it sound like he wasn't going to take it anywhere, but he took it to the entire pastoral staff. And they had like a whole meeting about it. Okay, now I'm getting emotional. I didn't know that they had a whole meeting about it. I didn't know. But obviously, he came back to me and he told me that we weren't allowed to hang out together anymore. So, I'm out of time. More later.